Good morning and welcome to our first edition of a new program to provide updates and current information about our local United Way. I know we've got a handful of people on and I know others will join us. United We Learn is a new opportunity for everyone to learn about our work and ask questions. I'm John Kelker, president of Your United Way, and it's a pleasure for me to host our first United We Learn. Whether you are watching live or recorded, thank you for your interest in United Way. In the coming weeks, we will address topics such as United Way's investments in our funded partners and why results matter relative to measuring the effectiveness of program services. And while today's program is a bit of a one-off to address how United Way and our community has worked through COVID-19, we will begin our United We Learn series on July 10th with a brief United Way 101 to help everyone get grounded in our work and highlight what separates us from other organizations. As we start, we have placed everyone on mute. During our program, please ask questions using the chat feature. And while we will wrap up at 15 minutes, the United Way staff will stay on GoToMeeting to address any questions you have. If you prefer not to use the chat feature or are watching a recorded version and have a question, please send them to feedback@uwcil.org. As mentioned, today, I want to let you know what United Way staff and United Way as an organization has been doing to work through COVID-19 and serve our community. Our United Way's office has been closed throughout the pandemic. However, staff has been in the office on an alternating schedule to assist callers seeking services while also working remotely from home. Like many of you, we have learned how to adapt and innovate. This morning, Katrina Hayes will show you how we have worked to keep on top of changes in program services, help connect those needing help with services, and provided individuals a chance to help others. I will provide information on the COVID-19 Response Fund established by United Way and our Community Foundation. And Jared Brown will introduce how we will focus on recovery. We will close by taking any questions as time allows. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce Katrina Hayes, our Director of Community Impact.
Thank you, John, and happy Friday, everyone. As many of you join us from home or in your office experiencing new rules and protocols, so too is the nonprofit sector. While most of us have only had to navigate the challenges COVID-19 created for ourselves and for our families, our service providers are also having to address the crises that many of the families in our community were confronted with on top of their own. But through these challenges and crises, we have also seen strength, perseverance, and new mindsets. Within the first 2 weeks of the rising concern of COVID-19, United Way staff worked to ensure 211 was ready and able to handle the influx of calls from individuals and families. 211 is a number individuals can call day or night, 365, to receive information and referral services. To ensure we were keeping 211 up to date, an ongoing survey was used to keep us apprised of any changes to business hours, types of services offered, and qualifications of the programs in wake of COVID-19. In addition to updating 211, we also made sure to provide this information on our website. Overall, we saw our partners adapting to virtual service delivery and making phone calls to fight decreasing mental health as a result of fear and increased social isolation, helping individuals procure needed food and toiletry items who had never been in need before now, and responding to a vast array of access levels to technology, whether that was little to no internet, not having enough devices for family members, or not having the needed skills to do basic tasks like order groceries. At this time, we also knew, though, that strengthening supports for our partners meant needing to flex our ability to call people to service. Traditionally, each spring, we host our first day of action of the year, which is a biannual event that brings together hundreds of volunteers to complete dozens of service projects throughout the greater Springfield community. But this year, we postponed the event and instead worked with a group of volunteers and agency partners to come up with Week of Action. Led by our talented community impact manager, a week-long calendar of events was developed in addition to dozens of recruited projects from our nonprofit partners throughout the community. This allowed people to engage in remote volunteer opportunities and donation drives to help protect our nonprofit's bottom line. In addition to thinking differently about our own events, we also made sure to capitalize on opportunities for partnership, such as our work with the Serve Illinois Commission. The Serve Illinois Commission created a statewide volunteering website, which was connected to and modeled after our Get Connected volunteer website we host year-round. This site increased exposure for our local agencies as it was heavily promoted by the Serve Illinois Commission and also the governor. Last, but certainly not least, we worked to leverage additional dollars for our community through federal and local resources. We did what funders do. Our federal monies was through the Emergency Food and Shelter Program, and these dollars will be distributed to support individuals and families in need of rent, mortgage, or utility assistance, to provide needed support to food pantries and emergency shelters, and will continue to provide home-delivered meals to at-risk populations. And locally, in partnership with the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln, the COVID-19 Response Fund was created. To tell you more about that, I will turn it back over to John.
Thank you, Katrina, for your update. The COVID-19 Response Fund was launched on March 19th as a collaborative effort between the United Way and the Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln. The fund was established in coordination with the Sangamon County Office of Emergency Management and Sangamon County Department of Public Health. United Way and the Community Foundation provided seed funding of $50,000 to get the effort started. The funding is supporting community-based organizations that have experience providing essential services and support in Sangamon and surrounding counties. John Stremstifer, president of the Community Foundation, and I co-chair the Response Fund, and it has been a pleasure to work with the Pandemic Community Advisory Group. To date, the Response Fund has raised over $925,000. Included in this total are funds directed to our United Way by the Illinois COVID Response Fund. Funds have been released on a rolling basis, and to date, the Community Advisory Committee has worked through 8 application and funding cycles. The fund has supported 77 different organizations, and in addition to these organizations receiving direct financial support, more than 36 additional organizations have received support through innovative grants to partner organizations who extended their reach into the community by helping other agencies. For a complete list of recipient organizations, check out the United We Learn webpage on our website. The response by individuals and companies throughout our community has made our work possible. Over the last 3 months, more than 200 families contributed to the fund with gifts ranging from $5 to more than $10,000. Likewise, we are fortunate to have 32 companies and philanthropic funds support our COVID-19 response. Among these are businesses such as Schnucks and Meyer, whose dedicated employees continued to show up at their workplace every day, while many of us work from home. In addition, hundreds of people supported the Response Fund through a variety of special fundraisers. These include the Sherman Thundercats 3rd grade volleyball team, INB's Pocket Change program, Miles T-shirts selling Everything Will Be Okay T-shirts, the Springfield Theater Center's Broadway Battle, and United We Pipe, a father-son bagpipe duo. In fact, United We Pipe was such a hit, they received media coverage across the nation. We are deeply appreciative of our community's support during this time, and while this support is critical, the natural question is how we move from response to recovery in supporting social services here in our community. And Jared Brown, our Director of Resource Development, has joined us to talk about the importance of our recovery efforts.
Thank you, John. As Katrina and John alluded to, United Way and our nonprofit community are facing a dual crisis as we deal with both increases in the number of people in need, while at the same time facing uncertainty as our economy begins to reopen. And while our economy will recover, how quickly the recovery occurs is unknown, and the additional demand for services will continue for a long time to come. Over the past few months, we've seen a tremendous outpouring of support as businesses step forward to provide meals and neighbors step forward to help each other. And while we've seen an incredible response to COVID efforts, we've also seen revenues for ongoing programmatic support fall. And a natural concern as we head into summer and fall is that we could see some donor fatigue. And so our COVID fund and our work over the past 3 months really helped our social services community adapt to the new reality that they're in. This was our response. Now we need to shift from responding to the immediate impact to how we recover, and to keep health and human service programs operating while facing increased demand and stressed budgets, and in some cases, fewer staff. So now more than ever, it's important for each of us to ask ourselves how we can best support our community during its recovery. And answering these 3 questions on the screen is a great place to start. As you ask yourself these questions, I only ask that you consider working with United Way and show your support in the upcoming months as we kick off our annual campaign. Whether you give, volunteer, or advocate, your support will help assure that programs most critical to our community's recovery are still able to serve our community. You can check out our website, springfieldunitedway.org, to find current volunteer opportunities throughout our community and information on different ways to give and different ways that you can help. And if you are a business owner, give me a call to learn more about the different ways your business can become involved with United Way. So thank you all for your time today, and I'll hand things back over to John.
Thank you, Jared, and thank you, Katrina. Thank you to everyone who joined us this morning. Remember, this program has been recorded and is available on our website. Please tell others about United We Learn. Encourage them to join us July 10th at 9:15, and even to log on and see a recorded version of this. Our next 3 program topics are confirmed. United Way, United 101, Making Strategic Investments and Results That Matter. Again, use chat or email us at feedback@uwcil.org to send us your questions, suggestions, and ideas for other topics you're interested in. This concludes today's program, and we will keep the session open for a few minutes for anyone wanting to stay and ask questions. Any questions we do not get to in the next few minutes will be addressed and saved on our website. Thank you. Have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.